Hello and welcome to Highland Showcase, bringing you a snapshot of life in the Highlands of Scotland. This week we've come along to Inverness Leisure, which is the largest sports and recreational facility in the Highlands. But first of all, let's take a look at what's in this week's show. I take a look around Inverness Leisure to see what makes so many people keep coming back. Ronnie finds out about the Keswick Bridge repairs. I try my hand at climbing. Groundbreaking junior builders show off their newfound skills to the Highlands. And the Tane Rotary tell us about their shelter boxes. Having won many an accolade, including Hospitality Assured, one of the only leisure centres in the world to actually win this, we're going in to see what makes Inverness Leisure so unique. I met up with Chief Executive James Martin to find out more. So James, first of all, can you tell us about the facilities that you have here?
Inverness Leisure, it's a charitable trust operated by a voluntary board of trustees. Around about 150 staff we have throughout various areas. The largest leisure facility in the Highlands of Scotland, based in the city of Inverness, and a huge footfall of over 1 million customers come through our doors every year for various areas of the building, so very well attended, very well supported centre.
Now you say there are over 1 million footfall. What type of customers do you get here?
Oh, we get customers coming from literally babies to, as we class them, our older, more mature customers there. I think we've got users up into their 90s that are still using the facility there. And they'll come at all times of the day, various times of the day, and the weekend, right the way across the week for all the activities that we do right across the board.
Now on the gym side of things, you have some of the most amazing equipment in there.
Yeah, we're quite proud of the facilities that we offer, and even that's ready for update. We've got a kind of around about a 5-year renewal policy to make sure that the customers are well serviced and that the equipment is kept as up to date as possible. But in saying that, we have a huge amount of ownership in the facility by the members, so therefore what that means is they look after the equipment and it's well kept and it lasts. So although you may look at it and think, well, that would do another 5 years, but we just like to keep up to date with the current trends and what's happening. So that'll be due for a change at some point in 2013 throughout the year somewhere. It'll definitely happen. We are very proud of our staff. We have, as I say, around about 150. A relatively young staff. A lot of our staff come directly from school or in gap years before they go to university. So, as I say, we're hugely proud of them. We've won a number of awards for our staff and our training and development. Again, there's a real family kind of atmosphere. I know that's kind of cliched to say, but there is a kind of family atmosphere. People join us. We have a very, very low turnover for a leisure centre. A number of staff have been with us over 10 years and stay with us, and we even now are experiencing the situation where some staff who have left us are now coming back to perhaps the grass wasn't as green on the other side as they thought it was, but they're coming back to rejoin us. So that's a huge compliment to us as well. But it's the staff that make the experience, and I'm sure the customers would say that, you know.
And also to take care of such a facility, you have to have the right people in place. For example, the Queen's Park track that we have out here as well,
yeah.
That takes a lot of care.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally hundreds of thousands of pounds are spent on the facility to keep it running, and we have a fantastic maintenance team. We obviously bring subcontractors in. We work very strongly in partnership with our local authority, Highland Council, we try to maintain the facility, and we have a very proactive, preventative maintenance to make sure that things don't go wrong. We catch them before they do go wrong. But it's a huge facility. There's so many areas: Queen's Park, the pool, the gym, climbing wall, loads of areas that things will go wrong and things will break and things will need repaired. But we try and keep on top of that as best as we can. And I think the feedback from the customers pick up on that. There's rarely you'll come in and see areas out of commission, and if they are, it's a minimal period if we can do that.
You touched on the climbing wall there. It's just one of the many different facilities that Inverness Leisure offer all in one building.
It's a huge centre. A lot of people would class it as a number of centres in one location. So, for example, you have the Queen's Park out behind us here. We have the sports centre, and then we have the swimming pool side. And in some cities throughout Scotland, you would have all of those locations in different areas of the town. Whereas in Inverness, we're lucky enough that they're all in one location, and you can come to the leisure centre and either run, swim, climb, whatever you want to do. And the Highlands, we have in partnership with other leisure centres, we have the High Life card, which is open to everyone basically, and we kind of believe that we keep the prices affordable, and that brings people in, and we believe that we know that our prices are probably unmatched anywhere, not even in Scotland but in the UK, so that brings a lot of people through the doors and makes fitness leisure very affordable, which in the current time is really important, because a lot of criticisms put forward on sport because at grassroots it can be seen as expensive to start off, whereas in the Highlands and Inverness Leisure as well, we try and make sure that everyone has access to that at really affordable prices, and the figures and the attendances and the customer feedback tends to say that that's working.
We're always looking forward. We're looking at new machinery. We've just had a new gym. We got that going last year. We increased our capacity. We've got 120 classes now. I don't think there's any other facility in the Highlands that has that. We have a big footfall through our doors, and we are looking at ways to improve the facility at all times and keep on the top of it, and also to bring in all the new equipment that is on the market. We look at it, we assess it, see if we can use it in Inverness Leisure, and that's really what we're about, just to try and get the best for Inverness Leisure, keep it at the top, and going forward all the time.
And with having the High Life card, able to use it at Inverness Leisure, it really brings in everybody.
It's for the Highlands, and we are part of that in partnership, and it does bring people in from all over the Highlands. We have them coming in for our swimming classes, and they use our climbing wall. It's just one of those things we have that other facilities don't have, and yes, it's good for Inverness.
Okay, Mike, can you tell us about your role here at Inverness Leisure?
Hi, I'm Mike. I'm the fitness coordinator here at Inverness Leisure. My responsibility is the overseeing of the day-to-day running of the gym and staff, and make sure that customers get the most benefit to what we offer.
Now we see all this equipment around us, but it's more than just that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more than just the equipment, it's a personal touch. We believe here at Inverness Leisure that the customer comes first. We believe that personal touch, making them feel welcome, making sure that we oversee their workouts, we assess their workouts. It's a FitLinks retention system. It records every workout that a customer does. So every time that they enter their own personal ID number, the system recognises them and it sets up their training programme for them. We've designed this pre-programme for them, so they know exactly what they should and shouldn't be doing. From that, they then enter the number onto the equipment. It allows them to set up their programme, and then they do their programme, and at the end of their workout they log out, and that gives us all the information. So we can then assess that information, and it charts their progress, so we can see if they're making progress, if they're not. So what we do on a sort of weekly basis, we check all our clients, and if they're not making progress, we invite them back in to discuss their programme, and then let's see if we can re-evaluate it. So the system allows us to always keep on top of what the customer is doing to ensure that they're getting the most benefit. The good thing about Inverness Leisure is that it's accessibility to everyone. We're not a type of gym that applies to a certain clientele. That's the beauty about Inverness Leisure, is that we offer all facilities to everyone. Social inclusion.
Well, I just enrolled after Christmas, beginning of January, like many other people. Decided to start the year off trying to lose some weight and just generally get a bit fitter. One of the main reasons for choosing the leisure centre is the High Life membership, which for $17.50 a month basically you have the use of all the facilities. But I just use the gym, but you've got use of everything of almost everything in the pool. And I think perhaps you pay a little bit extra for some of them. But all the classes, spinning and body attack and body pump and all of these things, which I haven't been to yet, but maybe when I get a bit fitter, I'll give them a try.
And what do you think of the facilities
I
here?
think absolutely fantastic. I used to come here many years ago, and the car park was half empty most of the time. So when I started coming back this time, I was really surprised at the amount of cars in the car park and the amount of people coming. I come before shifts in the morning, very early. I come last thing at night, and it's busy all day long, every day of the week. So it's really good to see it. I have to say too, it's lovely seeing the younger kids in the gym as well. That's a new thing. When I came before, you had to be, I think it was over 18. Now you see kids coming from after school from Charleston and this area, so starting at that age to keep fit is really good.
So they're really trying to encourage the young ones to get into it.
That's it. And I think those Highland membership schemes really, opened up the whole leisure centre for everyone. First thing Saturday morning at 7:30, there are parents there with little ones, people already coming out of the pool at that time. I've also used the card up in Orkney, so you've got the opportunity of using your card all over Highlands. So a bit out of puff.
But you've been working hard here this morning.
Yeah, it's had a good workout, yeah. Not seeing many results yet, but hopefully.
Well, in my role, I'm basically in charge of over 120 classes here at the Leisure Centre. I basically manage the class, make sure there's obviously instructors here to take the class, and a major part of it as well is if people aren't here to take it, I'll jump in and basically cover the class for them. So there is always somebody around to make sure things keep running, things keep moving. Very busy place.
And can you tell us about the classes?
We've got a variety of intensities from low, medium to high. Classes such as we've got our Les Mills, what I call our body systems. So we've got body combat, body step, body attack, body pump, balance. These are pre-choreographed, so the instructors learn the choreography and then they obviously go and teach. And then we've also got things like kettlebells, Viper classes, suspension training, and this revolves around what we call functional training. So you're not just working in one plane of motion, you're not just working one muscle group, you're working your whole body, what we like to call 3D motion. So you're basically trying to mimic the movements you do in day-to-day life. So it's basically for everybody to try, as you all know, picking up shopping, bending down, things we do every day. These are the sort of classes that'll benefit you in the long run.
Well, you do have a lot of classes within your programme,
Yeah.
but you're developing it all the time.
Yes, we try every 3 to 4 months release a new programme. We just basically take into account what customers have said, what they like, what we don't like, monitor numbers, and we basically try to deliver the best programme we can.
And you've got a new one that's starting the ballroom dancing.
Yes, ballroom dancing on a Monday morning. Very popular. We trialled it for 4 weeks in November and we got really, really good numbers. So we thought it's definitely something we want to introduce, especially the popularity of the Strictly Inverness, so tying into that. So yeah, basically just trying to get as many people involved as possible.
Now the classes themselves, you get all ages, all body types coming along?
Oh, definitely. Our classes run from 12 years old to 100 years old, so all types of ages, all types of fitness levels. There is really something for everybody. So I say to people, don't be scared. I'd encourage people to come along, give a class a go, and they'll find what they enjoy, what they're good at. At the end of the day, it's for fitness, but it's also for fun, for social reasons as well.
So I help the maintenance team in keeping the building afloat, if you like. Outdoors, I'm responsible for everything, whether it's the events for the running track or the maintenance of the car park, grass cutting, sweeping, litter picking. So we've got an all singing, all dancing track. We've got the top level of grading for track, so we can hold any level of meeting here. We just like to get more high profile athletes up here if possible.
Last summer, you were one of the games makers.
I was indeed, yes. It was something that took 2.5 years in the making. I had to camp for the first time. I'd never camped before in my life, but that was the only way that I could afford to stay down there. And yes, it was something that was just unforgettable.
And what part were you one of the games makers in?
I was based at the Olympic Stadium and at the warm-up track, just getting everything ready for the athletes prior to their competition.
For families, for individuals, regardless of what background or whatever you come from, that when you come in here, you're just going to have a good time, you're going to enjoy yourself, and it's a fun place to be. So that's what we try and deliver: fun, friendly, family and fitness for everyone throughout the community, and we hope that's what they get when they come back again.
Join us after the break, where we'll learn more about the wet side of Inverness leisure, and I try my hand at climbing.
It's quite a vast role, swim teaching at Inverness Leisure. We teach all aspects of swimming. We teach right from babies that are 6 months old, right up to we have adults who are in their 80s in our adult lessons, and we teach a lot of the local schools as well. So it's really teaching from the very basics, teaching water confidence and body position in the water, to getting quite down into detail and teaching full strokes and analysing strokes and correcting faults.
So you get quite a lot of numbers coming through here for the lessons?
Yeah, there's about 2,500 people come to our paid lessons, and we have the schools on top of that as well, which is probably in the region of about 1,000. So probably in a week we teach, in the swim team we teach 3,500 people swim every week. The Highlands and Islands being quite a wide variety. We've got a lot of the schools from in the town and schools from out from the countryside as well, so schools from 40, 50 miles away.
Now, you touched on you've got the adult lessons there as well. Now, are they quite popular within? Yeah,
they're getting more and more popular. I think in the past there's been a stigma about adults learning to swim. I think that's maybe dying down a little bit now, and the fitness craze is kicking off all over Britain, thanks to the Olympics as well, and more and more adults are learning to swim and trying to improve their swimming as well. We're really lucky here at Inverness Leisure as well. We've got the big competition pool you can see behind us here, 8 lanes with a movable floor, so that really helps us progress the children through their lessons. We can vary the depth of the pool and vary the size of the pool in their tanks, so again helping them to progress from little 5-year-olds who are swimming in a little small shallow tank right up to the big 11, 12-year-olds who are ready to progress to the swimming club, and they're swimming full lengths in lanes 1 and 2, and like I say, progressing on to the swimming club. Got a nice progression system between the lessons and the swimming club, so trying to promote swimming as much as we can. Okay, we've just introduced a new system as well called Learn To, where we use iPads to grade and move up the children. So it's saving us a lot of administration time, giving us more time to focus on the children. So we use the iPads, as I say, to grade and assess the children, and emails are automatically sent out when they're ready to progress. So it saves a lot of admin time, gives us a lot more time to focus just on the children and just on their swimming. We've got the Leisure Waters, which is a swimming pool with the river, and it's got the wave machine as well, and lots of features for the toddlers, the water falling down on their heads. And as we've already touched on, we've got the competition pool through here with a movable floor and 25-metre pool. We're very lucky.
I train here about 3 times a week, so that's Saturday morning, Sunday afternoon and Monday evening, and use the sports halls for our land work. Granton, our home club, we can't dive because it's too shallow, and at Inverness here we have the diving blocks, and that gives us quite a good advantage for competition-wise. We can practice.
Well, the Inverness pool is 5 metres longer than the Grantown pool, which is a 25-metre pool, and it kind of helps you get used to doing competition in Inverness, and you just kind of get used to it.
And it's more spread out because there's more lanes, so you're not all squished.
It's a great facility. There's a lot of room, and especially a lot of room poolside. So from the kids' point of view, there's plenty of room to change and store their kit. From a parent's point of view, it means if they're coming out for training, there's a lot of room for you to sort of relax and find something to keep yourself busy while they're training. And competitions, I think the difference is really good. We've been to a lot of pools around Scotland. You can appreciate with them competing, and I think we're very lucky to have this facility here. There's plenty of room for people to watch, and plenty of room for other activities poolside as well. Even getting a seat is quite a good thing, because we've certainly been to other pools in the north of Scotland, and parents can't even get a seat poolside, so it's good to get a decent seat and to get a decent view. The running track, I know some of the parents use that when they come up as well in the gym, so if the kids are training, there's other things for them to do.
With major works due to take place on the Keswick Bridge, Ronnie takes a look at the project in more detail.
The Keswick Bridge opened in 1982 and has played a major role in the growth of Inverness. It not only crosses the Bewley Firth, but also the Great Glen fault line, so it has seismic buffers built into the north abutment. With a flow of over 30,000 vehicles per day, the Keswick Bridge has seen over 30 years of wear and tear. With the road surface of the bridge reaching the end of its working life, major refurbishment starts on Monday, with traffic management being put in place on Saturday evening. Callum Galloway, Bridges Manager for Scotland Transerve, gave us an overview of what works are to be carried out in the bridge.
We will be stripping off all the surfacing off the bridge deck. We're going to then have to repair the deck underneath. Hopefully not too much, but we're going to have to do some minor repairs. Waterproofing of the deck again, resurfacing it. Because we've got extensive traffic management on for this, and it's going to cause a lot of disruption to people in north of Scotland, we're also going to do as many other operations as we can during that time. We're going to replace the street lighting along the centre of the bridge. We're going to replace the safety fence or barriers along the centre of the bridge. We're going to install new high containment barriers at either edge of the bridge to prevent vehicles coming off the bridge. We're also going to heighten the parapet on the outside of the bridge for cyclists to bring it up to the appropriate height for cyclists. And there's other minor operations we're doing along with it, but basically so that everything we're doing on the bridge should get all the traffic management operations that need done on the bridge done in one hit. The initial phase will be to close the northbound carriageway and put all the traffic on southbound carriageway with one northbound lane and one southbound lane. We call it a contraflow arrangement. We're also doing work on Longman roundabout to the south of the bridge. Longman's a major pinch point for the A22 and A9, and there's been a commitment made that there will be signalisation done on that roundabout. This should affect the works greatly. It should give us a lot of benefit of flushing traffic through that roundabout quickly, especially in the evening peak as traffic's coming up to it. The roundabout would jam solid. Surfacing generally lasts on a road for about 30 odd years. The surfacing on the bridge is very high standard, very high quality surfacing, and it has lasted 30 years effectively, and we want to put something as good if not better back, so that's why we're doing this. If we did minor repairs, we'd be in constantly patching it and replacing it, and it would be a constant headache to the community, so we would rather go in and have two relatively short hits, which is going to be major disruption, but it should avoid any future disruption on that section of the network. The surfacing we are using on Keswick is very unusual. The surfacing on the bridge itself is a mastic asphalt surfacing, which is very dense, very flexible and very durable, and so that's why it's lasted 30 years. It's the busiest part of the northwest unit which we look after. It carries 33,000 vehicles a day, so the surfacing gets a lot of abuse. And say without putting something as high spec as that back, we wouldn't get the lifespan. But the surfacing we put back will be at least as good as the surfacing that's been on the bridge for the last 30 years, and potentially slightly better because of advances in technology. Although we are going to be causing a lot of disruption, we know we're going to cause people heartache, we know we're going to cause delays and major disruption to the travelling public. It is necessary. We wouldn't be doing this if we could avoid it. It's a lot of effort, a lot of work and a lot of expense, and it's not something we're taking lightly. If we could do it another way, we would. We have looked at doing a number of different options of doing this work that we wouldn't have to close down 2 lanes, and it's just not viable. So it is essential work, and so we'd like to ask people to be patient with us when it does come about.
Kathleen McCaskill spoke of the impact of daily commuters and what they can do to help keep traffic flowing.
The primary concern we have is the car occupancy at present. At present, at peak times, both in the morning and evening, the current car occupancy runs at 1.1. If that car occupancy increases to 1.5, that in one stroke will significantly reduce the number of vehicles during peak hours, and that really mitigate well against the delays. There's been a number of measures that we're working on at the moment. One of the ones which we believe to be significant is altering the traditional peak times. At the moment, the peak times are 8 in the morning till 9 in the morning southbound, and in the evening between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. Northbound. What we want to do is work with employers to try and stretch that peak times by working with their employees to not affect the business in any detrimental way, but change the working hours or stretching them, thereby weakening the impact on the bridge during the traditional hour in the morning and hour in the evening. If people don't change their behaviours, there will be significant delays, both southbound in the morning and northbound in the evening. Delays, in addition to those normally experienced at the moment, will increase in the area of 40 to 45 minutes. That is if nobody changes behaviour. We are encouraging the use of public transport, and we're working with the train providers and bus providers to ensure that the facility is there for people to use at peak times. For instance, trains will have extra capacity during peak hours, and there's an additional lane for the sole use of buses and HGVs.
Southbound cars will be limited to the slow lane from the Tor roundabout, with a fast lane being dedicated for bus, HGV and emergency vehicles only.
Finally, I would ask everyone to look at their own travel arrangements. This is not about somebody else, this is about you. For you to make a change in your travel to work arrangements, be it car sharing, be it taking public transport or using some other mode of transport. It is important that you make a change, and if the significant numbers of people do that, then the benefits to everybody else will be clear for all to see.
Okay, we've come down here to the wall. Ken, can you tell us a little bit about the people who come here to use the wall?
Well, they come from all over, and they're from kind of toddlers, 5-year-olds, up to pensioners, like myself.
And they can come down here and get some instruction on how to do it?
Yes, if they're climbing on the bouldering wall, they can have an induction course straight away. Whoever's walking the wall will take them just through the safety features of the bouldering wall. On this wall, we have induction courses that run generally on a Monday evening for a couple of hours.
So this wall, it's the only one of its kind really in the Highlands?
Yeah, there are walls in Gairloch and there's a wall in Kirkle now, but they're not as big as this. The nearest big one to this is Aberdeen.
So I'm going to have a wee shot now. I've never climbed before, so if you can show me what to do.
Okay, so you're all ready to go. You've got your safety knot on, which is the figure of 8 with a stopper knot attached through your harness, and I'm going to belay on the bug belay device, okay? So that while you're climbing, I'll keep you nice and tight on the rope, and if you want to come off at any time, just say, I want off. You've already had an experience of being lowered, so you know what it's going to feel like. If you don't, just go up as far as you can. If you want to rest at any time, because your arms are getting tired, then just say you want to rest, and I'll hold the rope tight for you. And then once you're rested, you can carry on if you want, or come down, it's up to you. Okay? You don't go any further than the top of the wall. Obviously, there's a carabiner up there. If you touch the carabiner on top of the wall, that's your route finished. So you're going to go up on the whites. The whites have got all the good holds on, the hand holds anyway, and you can use anything for your feet, both the features and any other kind of coloured hold as well.
Okay.
Okay? Enjoy. Climb when you're ready then.
Here we go.
That's good. That's it. Left foot up, left foot out now. There's a green or a white there. Okay, this time you're gonna high step. That's it. Left, and then there's one on your right by your knee. Sit. Same again. Left again. Up. So use the power of your legs to push through. Good. And again, foot on, get you that. Well done. Okay, right foot up now. And now your left, get your left foot up and push again. Push through. Keep on the whites if you can. Feet again. Yeah, and big push. Good. Little step now for your right foot. Yep. And again, right foot by your knee. Try and keep on the whites if you can. Okay, right foot up now. Quick step, quick pull. Come on, you can do it. That's it. Get it on. That's it. Push. Oh. You coming down? Okay. Pull the rope then. Nice one. Yeah, good. Good effort. For the first time, that's good effort.
That's hard going.
Well done.
Thank you very much. Well, that's the wall. I think I'll be coming back again though. A wee bit more practice needed. As I get my breath back, join us in part 3 where we head north and meet some junior builders who've learnt lifelong skills under the guidance of an inspirational teacher in a groundbreaking, never attempted before school project. Untamed Rotary tell us about their fight to eradicate polio and their life-saving shelter boxes, which they distribute globally, ready for action. As the fun continues here at Inverness Leisure, we're going north now to meet some groundbreaking builders from Tane Royal Academy. As part of their curriculum for excellence, Tane Royal Academy are forward-thinking in how they can help their pupils discover skills which they never knew they had and apply them in everyday situations and turn them into mature, problem-solving students. Construction Schools pupils, under the guidance of teacher Tommy Agnew, took on an innovative project believed to be the first of its kind in the UK.
The project that you can see behind you is a Skills for Work construction workshop. We offer a Skills for Work construction course in the school to 3rd and 4th years at present. They do 5 different trades, and we were struggling to find an area where the kids could do all of the stuff that they needed to do. So we come up with the idea that we could design and make a workshop or project area that was used solely for teaching Skills for Work construction.
And the materials that you have here, they've come from mostly donations?
Most of the materials, yes, have come from donations. We've had companies like Scottish and Southern Energy, Build Base in Inverness, Global Energy, and various local companies that have contributed with Stirling Board from the Ardesir, and various other things have come in. We put the project out there, we asked for some help, and a lot of people have come back with help, and we're now at the process of actually putting the project together, which wouldn't have happened if these donations hadn't come in.
The kids who are actually working on this, they're learning more by getting their hands on and actually doing the project.
Yeah, this is very much curriculum for excellence. This is kids learning with hands-on experience. We have involved a lot of different departments in it as well. There's maths, there's some science, there's loads of different things that can be used elsewhere in the school. The kids are learning more because they're in a situation where they're problem solving as well as under instruction, so that it's not a case of them just doing what they're told. They're actually learning how to get round problems that come up, which is a valuable experience. Coming from the building trade into teaching, there's not enough problem solving out there, and this can be multidisciplinary. It can help you in loads of different areas in education.
Okay guys, you're working here on the new construction classroom. What has that been like for you?
It's been very good. It's like gives you a hands-on approach to everything, and you get to experience it like yourself, and it's a better way of learning, I guess.
So you're remembering what you're being taught because you're actually having to do it?
Yeah, We get more experience doing, like, making it ourselves.
So you've been involved from the very beginning for this project?
Yeah, we have, but we've had help from the likes of Anta architects and people like that.
So you've got the full construction experience here from the very beginning to what we're seeing just now is them putting in the windows.
Yeah, we've made all the, like, sides ourselves and
all the frames.
Yeah, all the frames.
Have you felt the experience being out here, being hands-on?
It's a lot better than working in a classroom, because then you only get like the practical side of it and you don't get to like do it yourself and experience it for yourself.
And you know what it's going to be like if you choose to take this career path, so you know what to expect. Working with the boys isn't actually that bad. I thought it would be worse, but it's not too bad.
And you've been getting stuck in just the same as everyone else?
Yeah.
Is this something which either one of you are going to move on to? Has it inspired you to take up something like that?
It's definitely made me want to have a trade after I finish school, but it definitely does help you realise what you're good at and what you're not so good at.
Working out the measurements and that can be quite hard, and when we get them wrong, it's like we've wasted some of the wood, so we've got to try and get them right most of the time.
So that's it, you really are doing it on the job, so you're learning how to do it correctly, because it does actually matter.
Yeah, because it's got to be like right, because if not, something bad could happen, or the roof could fall in or something like that.
It could be up for tens of years, you know, so maybe when our kids come to this school, we might see it and be like, hey, we built that.
It is like a big achievement to us, so for people to like ask if you made it is good to say that you have.
I mean, it's good to have something there like for you to like be proud of, and it'll be there for the rest of the time we're at school, and it'll just be something good to look back on and just say we built that and it's still standing.
The kids have been very enthusiastic, they've thrown themselves in. Fourth year have been involved more than the third years, but the third years will be more involved when we actually get the roof on and inside, because that becomes into the units that they're doing. The project has covered a lot of the joinery units that they would do on the course without actually having to do it in the workshop, which has been a great learning experience for both me and for the pupils.
And once the joinery work is done, what do you go on to from there?
Inside we've got gyprock to put on. There's Jackie Morrison's electricians from Munlochy will come in and they will wire the place up. 2 or 3 I think of the pupils that are doing the course are going to help them wire it up, which again is another fantastic learning experience for them. And after that we have to put plasterboard or gyprock around the inside. It'll have to be taped and finished, and then we start painting, which is two of the units that they can cover is actually painting out the workshop, and that'll be done on a yearly basis. On the outside, Russwood from Aviemore have very kindly offered to give us the Scots Larts for outside at cost, so again that'll have to be maintained on a yearly basis, which again is part of the course. So it's a kind of on-rolling project that to maintain the workshop, they're actually doing the course that they're supposed to be doing.
We run for a number of years a very successful rural skills project, which involved youngsters going out to farms and the Forestry Commission. We saw how successful that was and how it motivated the youngsters that we decided to involve the pupils with construction skills project. So a couple of years ago we started Skills for Life and Skills for Work, construction skills, and you can see where we've reached today.
And it really is involving the kids from the very beginning of the construction process.
Yeah, they were involved in the design and the planning process. We initially had just a concrete slab that they built brick walls on, and demolished them and built them up again. But through the winter that didn't really work very well with snow and rain, so with the pupils our technical department have designed this building. They've worked with local architects, and they've worked with local businesses and contractors to really be involved in the design and construction of the building.
And the kids themselves are really benefiting from getting their hands on.
they're enjoying it. It's learning in the real world. This beats reading this from a textbook or even watching a DVD or an internet video. They're involved, they can learn from the work that they're doing themselves, they can learn from the experts that they're working with, but most importantly they can have a feeling of pride in what they're doing and see the results of their own hard work. You could probably get a link with just about every subject on the curriculum for this, as well as giving them true social skills as well, because they have to work together.
And they're actually getting to do it within their own school as well.
Yeah, that's another benefit. Rather than have the youngsters travel to college, spend time travelling and be away from their other subjects, they can come out of one lesson, come on to the site here and return to the next lesson an hour later and repeat that throughout the week. So it's got a number of benefits apart from the learning. And it's a project that the youngsters and the staff in the school are taking a pride in. They're seeing something happening for real, and apart from the pupils who are involved just now, it also sparks ideas amongst colleagues who work in other subjects, and who knows what other interdisciplinary work will come from this. Thanks very much for coming out this morning and being with us at Tyne Royal Academy. It's great to have everybody with us, from everyone who's worked with us. And now I'm going to ask Mr. Angus Gray, who's just retired as Deputy Rector, ably assisted by Mr. Jimmy McLean, who recently retired as Head of the Technical Department, to formally open our workshop.
In my many years of teaching, I have never seen anything like this. I think this was the dream that really perhaps only Tommy Agnew thought could ever happen. It's an absolutely remarkable experience to see all this build stage by stage over an extended period of time. The building has been called the Shed. It is of course much more than a shed, but nevertheless Jimmy McLean and I are extremely honoured to be given the privilege of opening this building formally. I believe that in London today, Boris Johnson is formally opening the observation deck of the Shard. The big opening ceremony is happening here in Tyne Royal Academy, and I will now ask Jimmy McLean formally to open the Agnew Workshed.
Listen, these guys at the back here, honestly, they worked like dogs for this. If this had been a company, we'd be millionaires. They worked so hard and they did everything they were told when they were told and what they were told to do. So I think a round of applause has to go to them.
We met with Rotarian Rob Hope, who highlighted the work of the Rotary.
Well, Rotary, it started in 1905, 3 men, and it developed from there, and it's now worldwide. Most countries now in the world have got a Rotary, and it helps out with everybody, you know, because it's so worldwide. And we do a lot of charities, we do a lot of work for different charities. Polio, we do a lot for polio. We started, Rotary started eradicating polio in 1985, and they nearly had it done in 2000, but then with a few outbreaks, but there's only a few small pockets left now, and it's nearly there. There's only a few cases crop up every year because they was missing out on a lot of children. But what they do now is they call it the purple pinky, and all the children that go to the square, they give them a purple pinky, and then they go around the houses later on, and any child without a purple pinky, they then give them the dose as well. They're the ones they were missing before, and then they put a cross on the house to say they've been there. So hopefully in the next 2 years we should. Bill Gates put up, if we could raise 2 million, he'd put 2 million in. We've done that, and he's put some more in. And we're going with more. So we're raising lots of money for that. Our club actually gave £800 this year for polio. So
fantastic contribution. Rob, can we just go on? We'll talk about the shelter box here. It looks absolutely amazing. What's actually enclosed in this box here, and what it does to go on and save probably very many lives.
the box has got all the cooking utensils you need. It's got a small stove, it's got the tent, it's got the sleeping things, it's got tools for cutting wood, hammers, nails, axes, string, rope. It's got water purification tablets, which is these. It's got the water carriers, which is one of these. They're all collapsible. And everything is in this box, and the tent as well. So everything you need to survive and live is in the box. You've only got to get your food.
It's supplied to both hot and cold
Yes.
climates.
Yeah, you get a different tent for different climates. If it's a cold country, you get a sort of a thicker tent. For a hot country, you get a sort of a thinner tent, and you get different sleeping things, either blankets or sleeping bags. But as I say, wherever they go in the world, they are for that particular area, and we've got bases in all over the world where they're storing these, and they can be out there within 24 hours. That's why Rotary are there first, because we've actually got Rotarians in the country, the clubs. So we've only got to get the boxes there. That's how come Rotary are always there at the disasters first, because they won't let people in because it's too much chaos, but our people are already there. So they take the boxes because they know where they're needed most. They don't go to people that don't really need them. They actually go to the people that are really desperate. And this is one of the good things about it, because otherwise it would be just chaos. But they've got it all sussed, and it's great, really.
So the price of one of these life-saving boxes, £590.
It's about £500, yeah. It's about £500 for a box, yes.
So how can, if anybody watching this wanted to contribute to the Tainan District Rotary Club towards one of these, how could they go about it?
Well, they could come to events like this. We're at the Tain Games, we're at all the Tain's games, the shows, etc. And there are leaflets around where they can send money. I don't know whether we've got any today, but we've got contributions coming in, and they made £2,000 at one of the events with one of these tents. So that was 4 boxes.
Coming up on next week's show, we make our first visit of the year to Fern Farm, where we catch up with farmer John Scott. Colin's driving skills are put to the test when he gets behind the wheel at Skid Car Scotland. I'm in Migdale and Leadmore Woods, where the Woodland Trust are taking horse logging back into the forest. And we take a look behind the scenes at Ross Sutherland, which is more than just a rugby club.